at the debate.
I'm a gun owner. Tim Walz is a gun.
I did not know that.
If somebody breaks in my house, they're getting shot.
Yes. I hear that. I hear that.
Probably should not have said that.
Well, probably not. Welcome back to the JP Rex channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we like to call out the lies, hypocrisy, and corruption of tyrants and Satan and their stupid puppets. Shine the light of awareness on woke absurdities and highlight the amazing work of their freedom fighters, because truth conquers. I think I just developed a speech impediment, but please forgive me. So Kamala just did an interview with Oprah. Didn't go too swimmingly. For starters, there's that opening scene where Kamala, who's just had a track record of saying word for word gun restrictions, confiscating guns, banning assault weapons, and then this is the second time publicly where she's apparently deliberately said, me and Tim Walz are gun owners, which, dude, I hope they are. It's a great Second Amendment right, but it just smells of tyranny. Like, okay, you've been against guns all this time. Are you now flip-flopping, saying these words, trying to get votes from people who are frightened by tyrannical governments that want to take away their rights? And then you'll just go back if you get in office. I don't know, Kamala, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't know, maybe you should think for yourself. So there's several segments to this really amazing interview between Kamala and Oprah, and there's some dirt on both that I think is worth considering. Oprah, she's just amazing. Well, we're going to take a look at that. But before we do, going around Twitter, there were so many people chiming in their opinion on different clips of Kamala when she would say something stupid, and commenting on Oprah's reactions, just kind of like Oprah was just like gritting her teeth, cringing. Whether that's true or not, or Oprah just normally has like a really skeptical face when she's asking questions that someone handed her to ask them because they're just stupid softball questions. I don't know about that, but in reference to it, the Babylon Bee posted this, which I think is well played. 15 seconds into Kamala Harris interview, Oprah decides to endorse Trump. It's just a powerful testament to how good Kamala is on camera. But first, I think before we get to the interview clips, it's important to see this opening clip of Oprah exercising her racism. Take a look.
On the way here, when I was coming through the airport, black man stopped me and he said, I guess he knew I was coming here for something like this. And he goes, well, I'm just tell you, I'm voting for Trump.
And of course, the assumptions that can be made by that is Oprah, doing racial profiling, thinks it's absolutely absurd and maybe even wrong for a black man to be voting for Trump. So I just think it's important to point out racism when I actually see it. So with that said, next clip. They were, because their crowd was, I don't know, several dozen people there, like with this amazing rally, Kamala, whereas Trump has 50,000 people. But nonetheless, they were like Skyping people in, doing these teleconference questions, and of course we'll see some celebrities. That was really important. But this question, where Kamala talks about how we're going to give small businesses a $50,000 tax credit. Take a look.
And so part of my plan is to give startup small businesses a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
I'll tell you what, you could. And I also will tell you this. She's never started a business. So the idea that she can be the ultimate overlord with this knowing of what people need to start a small business, we'll give you a $50,000 tax credit. That sounds great. Who actually pays? Okay, everybody pays for your tax credit somehow. It is just laughable that someone who has never started a business can believe that they have the knowledge of what's necessary to start a business, let alone at the expense of people in America who are actually running businesses and working for businesses to pay the taxes to support these unfounded expert claims and policies on what people need to run businesses. It's almost like having a football coach who's never played football and never watched football either. But it doesn't matter. She's a woman of color. That makes a great president. I guess I like the policy of being a woman of color. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, as a free thinker, I'm always interested in learning what people think. But something I found is people's algorithms and news sources tends to heavily influence what they think. That's why I think bringing complete transparency to the news that we get, where it comes from, what their bias is essential if you want to be a free thinker. And that's why I love Ground News. And you can check out ground.news/JP. For example, with RFK Jr. recently endorsing President Trump, that is dominating the news cycles. But you can see the left outlets have a very different perspective than outlets on the right or the center. Check out this headline that's going around. RFK Jr. decapitated a dead whale and brought it home, daughter said. So if you look at the coverage distribution, it is predominantly the left that is pushing this decapitated whale story about RFK Jr. And we can use our minds to reason to believe maybe the left media outlets are doing that to get people to think less favorably about the Trump-Kennedy association. And every day, Ground News collects thousands of different articles around the web on news stories that you're interested in, but they bring them to you with transparency. For example, on the RFK Jr. decapitated whale story, you can see the coverage details. Of the 18 total news sources on this dead whale story, you can see 11 of them are on the left, just 1 on the right and 3 in the center. And that gives a total bias distribution of 73% left. And that's good to know, because if that's where your news is coming from, that's what you're being influenced to believe. Another feature of Ground News that empowers us to see what some media might be trying to hide from us is the blind spots feature, which means Ground News finds the stories that the left just aren't covering. For example, RFK Jr. announces he will actively campaign with Donald Trump. That's huge news, empowering for the right, and you can see that has 0% coverage on the left. In other words, it tells you what the left doesn't want you to know about. And it'll also give you blind spots on the right media outlets. There just are less right media outlets and less blind spots on the right, but it provides the full picture. I love Ground News, and I think you will too, because our news is only as good as the source it comes from and their bias. And if we don't have full transparency of that, we don't know if it's good news or bad news. To bring full transparency to where you get your news from and wake up to what's really going on instead of being fooled while you're trying to inform yourself, go to ground.news/JP or hit the QR code here and take advantage of my link so you can save 40% off unlimited access, which is the subscription on Ground News that I use myself because I want to be informed, not fooled. Check it out. Now back to the video. Babylon Bee comes in hot. Biden promises next Trump assassin will be a woman of color. Gotta bring some diversity to that. Now, some world championship word salad. My freedom-loving friends, there's no doubt this interview was scripted. Here's the questions from Kamala's team. Here you go, Oprah. We're all just puppets here, okay? So we're going to play this game. So Kamala knows the questions. She's got her team, like, say these words. I don't know if there was a teleprompter, but it was definitely scripted. But luckily for you and I, Kamala went off script at the end of the interview, and it's the most incoherent word salad, taking the most amount of words to say nothing. That's the definition of word salad. Using a lot of words to say absolutely nothing. Something she excels at, but she's one-upped herself. Let's take a look.
We love our country. I love our country. I know.
First off, you have to acknowledge, like, she just slapped the mic. That's like the first thing someone wearing a mic knows not to do, so.
We all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country.
She's repeated that 3 times.
We take pride in the privilege of being American. And
as we watch this meaninglessness, as you've seen a million times, pay attention to her body language, how it's so exaggerated, because we're going to have a body language expert tell us what they believe that means about Kamala in just a second.
this is a moment where We can and must come together as Americans.
She's speaking so abstract. There's nothing concrete. Say more.
Understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together. The character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe...
We definitely like to believe in what can be, Kamala. That's...
Believe in fighting for that.
Yeah.
That's how we came into being.
We believe in what can be. We're fighting for that. That's how we came to be.
People before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are, which includes freedom to make decisions about your own body, freedom to be safe from gun violence, freedom to have access to the ballot box, freedom to be who you...
Like, everybody should have access to the ballot box? Really? Oh, you're not a citizen? Oh, you already voted, but you just want access to the ballot box to do what you want with it? That makes sense. By the way, you're doing okay. You're doing amazing. You're probably right now hyperventilating, watching this. Just take a breath and relax. I know it's frustrating. We're almost done with this.
You are, and just be, to love who you love openly and
Just
with pride.
be.
Freedom to just
Be. Oh, Oprah. Just like, if you ever interviewed Forrest Gump about mathematics, this is how you'd probably be looking at Forrest Gump.
And that's who we are. We believe in all that.
She just said nothing about who we are and then caps it off with, and that's who we are.
And so this is a moment where we stand knowing what we are fighting for. We're not fighting against. It's what we're fighting for.
Thank you. Thank you. Madam Vice.
I love that. Now, what a great strategy having the lovable, altruistic Oprah. She is such a great judge of character, isn't she? Being the one to interview Kamala. Well, as you can see here, check out this post and we'll bring some receipts in just a second. You know, of course, there's some Hollywood people on the screen like, wow, look at this support from people in Hollywood or on the Oprah screen. This post says it interestingly. All of Oprah's closest friends are con artists and pedophiles. Take a close look at who she's talking to. Half of Epstein's client list who attended P. Diddy's freak-offs. Oh, wow, maybe there some of them are. And let's check out some receipts. Of course, very questionable. Oprah here with Obama. Still running the country, I don't know. Hillary Clinton, not that she orders hits or anything. And of course, Oprah kissing Harvey Weinstein. And maybe more interestingly, here is Oprah with her good friend P. Diddy. This is her judge of character. These are characters that she judges to be good company. Makes sense how she's wanting people to vote for Kamala. But wait, there's more. I found this next one interesting. There's a guy from Brazil who claims to channel God, and I've known of him for a while. I've heard of people that go down, get healed, and whether any of that actually happens, I don't know. Of course, I'm skeptical. But Oprah has been a big supporter of John of God. And like so many people with a guru syndrome, newsflash, the guy's a sex offender. So this came out not too long ago. But of course, here's Oprah pictured with John of God. Let's have faith in her judge of character, America. This election depends on it. Vote Kamala. So Oprah Winfrey picture here with her good friend, John of God. Oprah promoted this man as a faith healer. This man abused over 600 women. That's a lot. Even one is too many, and kept teenagers as sex slaves, impregnated them, and sold their babies for organs, adrenochrome, sex trafficking, and child sacrifice. Dear God. And here's a Daily Mail article that came out about John of God. John of God, faith healer, kept teenagers as sex slaves and sold their babies for up to 40,000 euros before shipping them from Brazil to Europe. Dear Lord. Good judge of character, that Oprah. Look, she's so pleasant and she's inspiring. Always think for yourself. Now, what does an expert body languageist have to say about Kamala's erratic, spastic body language? Well, here on Twitter, and let's roll the footage so you can see it while we talk about it. Like, this is not normal, by the way. According to a psychiatrist and body language expert, Carol Lieberman, Kamala Harris suffers from imposter syndrome, a psychological condition where a person lacks confidence in their competence and feels they don't deserve to succeed. Now, that's a good definition of imposter syndrome. Someone who lacks confidence, therefore doesn't feel as though they deserve to succeed. They lack confidence in their competence. They don't feel as though they deserve to succeed. If you got underneath the imposter of Kamala, would it make sense that she maybe feels that way? When she takes 2 minutes to do her word salad thing where she says nothing competent, but she probably burnt 2,000 calories with her body language, trying to create significance. To make up for the insignificance of competence that her words are conveyed from. I've made this assessment for myself. Here's why I think she does these very abnormal, obnoxious body language things. But this body language expert, I think, says it very well, very succinctly. Contrast that with any video or interview you've seen of President Trump. He's solid like an oak tree. He's not doing too much of this. He's not a robot with arms just glued to his side. Hand gestures that are very proportional to what he's saying. What I would dare say, he'll have the body language of someone who appears to be mentally stable, not mentally incompetent, who's trying to deceive about their mental incompetence. So, but that's just me. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure Oprah is a much better judge of character. What's with all you and those pictures of P. Diddy? I don't know. Thanks, Oprah. With that said, my beautiful freedom-loving friend, this is the latest of the Kamala Oprah interview. It's definitely one for the books. Let me know what the highlight is for you in the comments below. I'll look forward to seeing it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in our next video. But until then, turn off your TV and stop watching Oprah.